Joanna Gonzalez. I'm an aspiring principal. I am currently working on my master's at the University of Texas at El Paso. I am employed by Socorro Independent School District and work in a middle school setting. I have been teaching for a completion of 5 years, working on my sixth. One of my assignments for my master's program was to create this YouTube video. So the objective for today is to identify 5 relevant suggestions for future or current leaders, as myself, that I took away from the readings. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to go through the readings and the video clip and give you little glimpses of what they were really focusing on. In William Firestone's Teacher Evaluation Policy and Conflicting Theories on Motivation, really focused on what is teacher evaluation and how are we motivating teachers, as well as the challenges that can be presented when we're trying to do that. I thought it was very interesting because I thought all of us were in it for the intrinsic motivation. You know, you do it because it makes you feel good. And I think hopefully I can inspire other teachers to have that motivation. That one was really interesting. And Kim Marshall's It's Time to Rethink Teacher Supervision and Evaluation, I really enjoyed reading because it really focused on, what principals are actually doing now and what we should be doing. Another piece that I thought was very interesting was Charlotte Daniels' Rethinking the Evaluation System, which is interesting because it's very mirrored to T-TEST, which is what Texas has. I found it very intriguing because I just came out of being certified, and she's very funny and humorous and provided a lot of insight to what it is we're using this tool for and how we should be using it, which is basically to improve instruction, which will, help all students learn. The last piece of readings were by Dylan Bowman in his Reframing Organization, and the reading really focused on organizing teams and organizing structurally throughout the campus. And so I really liked one of the chapters, the ones about teams. So it talked about baseball teams versus basketball teams versus football teams, and how as a leader you have to be able to differentiate which team we're going to be using. And like a coach, as myself, you're always wanting to make quick decisions to redo your team so that way you are successful and essentially winners, which I like. So the underlining theme I got from my readings is that, 1, I need to have teams on my campus. I need to have collaboration happening on my campus because it's the way that we're going to share our ideas and really holistically get a good decision. The second thing I got from my readings is the teacher evaluation. How are we using the tools that are provided like T-TEST or PDAS to really look at instruction and see, is our students learning? Am I really going to go in there one time throughout the year for 45 minutes? Does that suffice to show a teacher that she's growing? No. So those are the 2 underlying themes. How am I going to get good teams? And teacher evaluation. Luckily, my assignment is to suggest 5 relevant strategies or suggestions that we leaders can be using on our campus to help pretty much our school. So suggestion number 1 is really understanding the different types of teams you can have on your campus. I think once you figure out what teams you have, you can really do suggestion number 2. But suggestion number 1, the 3 types of configurations that I found interesting by Dylan Bowman was the one boss one, where, as you see here on the screen, you have the principal and then the assistant principals. And I think this configuration is critical when you're looking at your leadership team. You really want to have your very leader role or leader-centered giving you input, so that way you have a holistic decision when you are making those decisions for students. The second one that I would recommend that you look at is the dual authority one, where, as you see on the screen over here, you have the principal, the assistant principals, and the sky coach. And I think the dual authority will be very useful when you're looking at instructional decisions. And the last one that I would tell you to or would recommend is the all-channel network. I think this one would be awesome if you did it either with your faculty and staff or even with people in the district. If you're creating those all-channel networks, everyone is helping one another, and it would be very strong. I do think it's important for teachers so that way you can either embed cross subject instruction, so what they're learning in science can be used for writing in English. I think having those cross curricular ideas really increases the rigor on your campus. So again, suggestion number one, understand the different types of configurations of teams you can have on your campus, so that way you as the leader can utilize those teams for the improvement of instruction or any other leadership decisions. So suggestion number two, again, backing up from Deal and Bowman, is you really need to have specialized roles, functions, and units on your campus. You really need to define them at the beginning of the year. So that way roles are not confused, or if there is confusion, it's better to address it at the beginning rather than the middle or the end, because you don't want to have that contemplation where, was I supposed to do that? I didn't know I had to do that. If you really set those expectations at the beginning of the year, when you assign these specialized roles, functions, or units, it can really alleviate a lot of stress from you or worry. Did they understand what they were supposed to do? It's better to set up the system at the beginning. So again, my suggestion number two, really assign those roles on your campus. So that way you can not worry so much about who's doing what when they really know what they're doing from the beginning. So the next suggestion is backed up by Kim Marshall's It's Time to Rethink Teacher Supervision and Evaluation. And in this one, I really found it critical to suggest the supervision piece. Based off the tools that we are provided currently, it says that you really only need to go see a teacher one time. My suggestion, don't do it. You need to be in that classroom as much as possible. According to Ms. Marshall, something that you do want to do, and I agree, is make 3 to 5 mini observations or 12 to 15 snapshots. No, that doesn't mean you need to be in a classroom 45 minutes, 12 different times. It's going in there, doing quick little walks, checking for student engagement, student understanding, instruction, the lesson, not necessarily the teacher. So move the mindset from trying to get a I gotcha kind of thing to, are students learning? Are they progressing? Student-centered. What's going on? Move from teacher to student. And I think if you do that and you make yourself very present in the classroom, the teacher's going to respect you. And two, you can really evaluate and give the teacher concrete suggestions on how to grow as an educator. And it'll also help you build those relationships. Question number 4 is backed up by Firestone's article, really focusing on teacher evaluation and conflicting theories of motivation. The article really honed in on how to motivate teachers, the different types, the challenges that you may have. What I got from it, and a suggestion that I agree with, is having effective professional development. A lot of the times we put what we think the district thinks our school needs, but really as a leader, you really need to do your homework, investigate, and get teacher recommendations on what is it that they need. Because intrinsically or extrinsically, teachers are motivated, and however you want to do it, improve their instruction. My last suggestion is backed up by Danielson's meaningful teacher evaluation. What I think you should do as a leader is really, really understand with your team, especially anybody that's an evaluator on campus, is understand what effective teaching looks like. Because in my experience with T-tests, we all calibrated, and we all calibrated different, and we all understood the teacher differently. How we interpreted the lesson was different. We really didn't understand or think that we would have differences because we all know what good teaching looks like. But really have that conversation with your administrative team or any evaluator that is going into the classroom. So those are my 5 suggestions that I would give to any leader based off these types of readings. I'm going to leave you with one more thing, and that was by Charlotte Danielson. And she said in her talk, learning is done by the learner through an active intellectual process. And I think that is very powerful. You, as the model learner for your campus, your number one learner, I think it's very critical that we never, ever forget that it needs to be active and intellectual, and know that collaborative brains working together is better than just one. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Thank you and have a good day.